Hey guys, welcome and ting and ting and ting. And today we will be watching one here. Somebody said, hey, Mr. Giant, could you please watch another one on Scotland? So we're going to start light with Scotland. And it's 22 must-try Scottish foods and drinks. You understand what I mean? Comment down below. Tell me what's your favorite. Tell me which ones you think I should try. To all my Scottish peeps watching and anybody who have eaten Scottish cuisine. You understand what I'm gonna say? So I just decided to start up light and thing. Let's YouTube and simmer and see what delectable treats Ireland's got to offer us.
Hey everyone, it's Madeline, and this video is all about must-try foods when visiting Scotland. Discovering local restaurants and eating a country's popular dishes is one of our favorite ways to explore and immerse ourselves in the local culture. Scotland is known for its plentiful fresh seafood, savory puddings and pies,
That look good.
as well as tasty desserts. They use local ingredients and you can taste it in every bite. We love food, and here's a list of some amazing meals we enjoyed while traveling across Scotland.
Let's go.
Let us know your favorite dish in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more food adventures. After a long day of exploring the Scottish Highlands, sipping Scotch from one of the many distilleries, or sightseeing the beautiful lochs and castles all over the country, there's nothing better than a hearty Scottish meal. Here are 22 of our favorite things we ate and drank while traveling across Scotland.
All right, let's
A full
go.
Scottish breakfast. Breakfast is incredibly important when you're spending the day hiking through the Highlands or exploring museums in Edinburgh. A full Scottish breakfast is comprised of sausages, bacon, tomatoes, fried eggs, mushrooms, and baked beans. Sometimes you'll also have haggis, black pudding, or tatty scones, which are similar to potato pancakes. This meal is the fuel you'll need for a big day of exploring. Often, a Scottish breakfast is complimentary or available for a low price at the hotel you're staying at. It can be a good value-added option for travelers. Haggis. One of the most famous Scottish dishes is haggis. Haggis is made from sheep heart, lungs, and liver mixed with grains and spices, then stuffed into the sheep's stomach or a synthetic casing to be cooked. As of the making of this video, haggis is illegal in the United States, and we feel that added a bit of mystery to the dish. We visited the Haggis box in Edinburgh and feel like that was the perfect spot to try this iconic meal. If you're intimidated by traditional haggis, many places will offer a vegetarian version as well. Scottish salmon.
Okay. I'll try it. It looks tasty. It doesn't sound tasty, but it sure look tasty. I've heard of haggis before, but I didn't know what the ingredients were that made up of it. And I've heard it, and I'm not particularly turned off. You know what I mean? Especially she said herbs and spices are put in there. Hey, herbs and spices make a lot of stuff better. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, most definitely. Since it's like one of the favorite dishes in Ireland, in Scotland. Sorry, Scotland. I man will try it. Yes, for sure.
We had incredible seafood all over Scotland. Salmon is one of Scotland's largest food exports, with hundreds of salmon farms located off the coast. You'll see salmon on the menu in many different iterations. We had salmon for breakfast, in seafood risotto, and salmon fish cakes, but it really is best when it's pan-fried and served with some local fresh vegetables. Scones.
Okay, she said farmed salmon. Comment down below if you know how they farm the salmon, because I know a lot of people farm fish and they feeding it what it shouldn't be fed, thus making it like not the best. Because I work at a grocery store, and before you could tell when it was fresh salmon or not, because the fresh wild caught salmon was pink in color and the farmed salmon was gray in color. But now they have figured out to put dye into the salmon to make it look like it's fresh salmon. However, they have to label it as farmed or wild caught. So that helps a lot. But comment down below. They said they're farmed on the offshores. How is it farmed? Are they just out there eating what they're supposed to, or are they feeding them stuff that they shouldn't be fed? I'm assuming that there's restrictions there, like there isn't here. So they probably eating the natural stuff, but the naturally what they eat. But are we going into scones? I hear about scones a lot. I don't know what's in it. Let's check it out.
Scones are a staple at afternoon tea in Scotland, and you'll also find them on many breakfast buffets as well. A fruit scone with some raspberry jam and clotted cream is a classic that never gets old. Since we've been back from our trip, we're working on perfecting our own scone recipe. Eggs Benedict. Most hotels you'll stay in will have breakfast included, and almost every menu will have a version of Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict Royale with smoked salmon is definitely the way to go. Afternoon tea.
Oh, a spot
Afternoon
of tea.
tea is an absolute must-do while visiting the UK. We had a full afternoon tea at the Fingal and had the best time. Finger sandwiches and scones all washed down with a perfect cup of tea is the best way to spend a relaxing afternoon. We also grabbed tea while visiting the Royal Yacht Britannia and from a takeaway spot on the Isle of Skye. It doesn't have to be fancy, but afternoon tea is one of our favorite parts of visiting the UK.
That's funny because, well, not funny, but it's kind of cool to think of it because we had afternoon tea on the island too. As a matter of fact, in schools, we had what you call tea parties, and you know what I mean? That's a way for the school to raise money. And then you'd bring out all the fancy teacups and saucers and, and kettles and, you know what I mean? All made by clay with a little floral design on it. And you would serve it in the auditorium in the school, and people would come in and a couple of bucks, and they had a spot of tea with some pates and crumpets and all that good stuff. Oh man, that bring back some memories there. You know what I mean?
Colin Skink.
Colin
Skink is a deliciously creamy fish soup made with smoked haddock, potatoes, and onions. It's the perfect way to warm up on a chilly evening.
That sounds
good.
The
soup originated in the town of Cullen, located in the northeast of Scotland, and skink refers to a broth made from beef drippings. Substitute beef for haddock, and that's how we get this famous dish.
Okay.
Langoustines. A langoustine is a relative of the lobster and is similar to a prawn or a shrimp. They're important to the fishing industry in the UK and are caught off the coast of Scotland in the North Atlantic and the North Sea. Scotland provides more than half of the number of langoustines eaten around the world.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Oats for breakfast might not sound all that exciting, but when you're out exploring the Highlands all day, it's the perfect stick-to-your-bones meal to start your day. We ate porridge with fruit and honey multiple times on our trip and never got tired of it.
Okay, she only talk about oatmeal porridge. Come on, lady. It's cornmeal porridge. You understand? What else we got? Cornmeal porridge. Rice porridge. Oh, they made porridge out of almost everything on the island, man. Porridge was one of the staples there, you know what I mean? There's a kind of porridge that we used to make. Good Lord, I can't remember it now, but I remember it was like a kind of a fine white type of a thing. And I could see it now. I just can't remember what my mom used to call it. And I've never seen it in America. I think I saw it, well, actually, I take that back. I've seen it in New York because my mom found a place to get it. But I can't remember what it's called. But I'm seeing it now. I'm going to have to look that up on a future video and tell you guys what it is. But let's keep going here.
Seafood risotto. Risotto is hands down one of our favorite dishes, and seafood risotto showed up on its fair share of menus across Scotland.
Ooh.
We had seafood risotto a few times on this trip. You just can't beat a classic dish like this made with the freshest fish straight from the sea. Fish and chips. Is there anything better than a huge piece of perfectly battered and fried fish served with crispy chips?
Yes.
We got our fish supper at a restaurant in the port city of Malig in the Highlands. But you don't have to travel that far to find a delicious chip shop. The key to a good fish and chips is obviously fresh fish, but you want to go to a locally owned restaurant that makes their own batter and fries the fish to order.
Ooh, good.
Iron Brew. Iron Brew is a carbonated soft drink and is often referred to as Scotland's other national drink after whiskey.
Okay.
It's more popular than Coke and is orange in color, but isn't orange flavored. The taste of Iron Brew is hard to describe and almost seems to taste different to whoever's drinking it. It's been described as similar to bubblegum or exactly what the color orange tastes like. Iron Brew is definitely sweet, and we felt like it was similar to cream soda. But you'll have to try it for yourself and decide what it tastes like to you. Scotch. There are over 130 active whiskey distilleries in Scotland, so it's easy to find a tour to learn more about this national drink. We traveled all the way to Islay to see how some of the most popular Scotch is made. We'll link that video in the description below. A visit to a distillery is highly recommended.
All right.
And in Scotland, the good news is you're never far from one. Beer. Scotland may be known for their Scotch, but a nice cold local brew is a great way to end a long day of traveling. Tennent's is brewed in Glasgow and remains the best-selling beer in Scotland. But don't be afraid to try whatever local beers the pub is serving up.
All right.
We came across 2 great breweries on the Isle of Skye, including the Isle of Skye Brewing Company and Colin's Brewery. We also stopped into Moonwake Brewery in Edinburgh.
No, I'm not much of a drinker, but I like the taste of beer. I just don't like being drunk. Or let me rephrase it. I don't think I would like the sensation of being drunk because I've never been drunk in my life. I take a couple of sips of something, and the minute I feel a little something coming on, I quit. I would go out with friends, right? And I would nurse one bottle of beer all night while they're just knocking back. And they're like, I can't see how you could just drink one. Because I don't want to get like you. You're stumbling, you're drunk, get up in the morning, feel like crap with a headache. No. So, I ain't going for that. No way.
Indian food. We had some of the best Indian food we've ever had at Chaku in Glasgow. And it's been said that Glasgow is where the dish chicken tikka masala was created. The large South Asian community in the UK has made Indian food a popular cuisine in Scotland.
All right.
Scallops. I probably sound like a broken record, but the seafood in Scotland is incredible.
I'm going to have to try it.
You can find fresh local scallops
I'm
on
from
the
the
menu all
Caribbean,
across
man.
the country, and we highly recommend ordering some at least once.
You know how to do up the seafood
We had
on
some
the
on the
island.
island of Islay that was fresh out of the local waters. Black pudding. Black pudding is another dish that is incredibly popular and yet also intimidating for those of us who haven't grown up eating it.
Yeah.
One of the main ingredients in black pudding is in fact pork or beef blood, which ends up giving it a very rich and smoky flavor. Black pudding is often served with a full Scottish breakfast, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to try this local favorite.
Okay, now that is huge on the island. That is huge on the island, black pudding. It is so huge, it's like street food. There would be people on the side of the roads cooking up black pudding. Tell me if that's the case, because they put a lot of pepper in it on the island, like a lot of pepper. But, I'm not much of a meat eater, but I remember eating it as a kid. And I like the taste of it. And I don't eat a lot of meat because of the way it sits on my stomach. Not because I don't like meat and I'm a vegetarian. I just don't like how full it makes me feel. Every time I eat meat, I feel like there's a rock on my stomach. So I kind of stay away from it. Doesn't mean I didn't like me some black pudding as a kid. I don't think I had that issue with meat when I was a kid. It's sitting heavy on my stomach. It just happened later on in life, and I ate less and less meat as I grew up. I ate more fish than anything else. But yeah, black pudding is really popular. That's one thing that's like super popular. I think there's a white pudding too. I think somebody told me that a while back. There's white pudding. Comment down below. Let me know if that's true or not. And I don't know where it's from. If it's Scotland or one of the other islands or countries around there.
Bangers and mash. Bangers and mash is an absolute must-try when visiting the UK. Sausages, mashed potatoes, and gravy, what's not to love? Macker's Mashed Bar is the perfect spot for bangers and mash while sightseeing in Edinburgh. Crisps. We aren't exactly sure why, but potato chips in the UK just taste better. We probably ate a bag of crisps nearly every day on our trip through Scotland. No matter how you eat your potatoes in Scotland, they will no doubt be cooked to perfection.
And not more natural
Biscuits.
ingredients. Biscuits.
We became pretty obsessed with shortbread and chocolate biscuits while traveling through Scotland. Biscuits are the perfect accompaniment to afternoon tea, and we picked up a box of cookies every time we popped into the co-op. Sticky toffee.
See, that's the thing that one of the things that got me when I came to America, because what we call biscuits back home, they call crackers here. What we call sweet biscuits back home, they call cookies here. So I had to get used to the change in lingo or or names of things. You know what I mean? What they call biscuits here, we call penny bread on the island. It's the same kind of thing. Only it's like actually made, handmade. It didn't come in a can or nothing like it does here. But that's something I had to get used to. I would tell my ex-wife, that's not biscuits, that's penny bread. Imagine our exasperation when I was doing that kind of stuff and thing. Let's get going. Let's keep going there.
Sticky toffee pudding is a traditional UK dessert that you'll find on menus all over Scotland.
Oh.
This delicious sponge cake made with finely chopped dates and covered in toffee sauce easily became our favorite treat by the end of our trip. Pizza. Pizza is delicious everywhere, and Scotland is no exception. We had great wood-fired pizza at Paisano's in Glasgow, and we ordered a pie to go in Glencoe after a day out in the beautiful Highlands. Wherever you're at in Scotland, pizza is always close by. There are so many delicious Scottish foods to try when visiting this beautiful country, and we know we barely scratched the surface with this list. Does your favorite dish make the list? Let us know what we have to try next time we visit Scotland in the comments below.
Okay, now this was quite interesting. And I know most of it is restaurant food, so please comment down below. Tell me your countryside food and dishes that they didn't mention here. Or tell me stuff that they mentioned here and they sort of fancied it up, that the local people eat. That, wasn't all fancied up. Because I know that's how it is on the island, you know what I mean? Certain foods is fancied up for the tourists, but then when we cook it, it's like real down home, down to earth, country vibe. You understand what I'm going to say? This was I'm hungry now. I'm hungry right now, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. I'll be eating a vegetable with mackerel. And it's not unfortunate because I dab it up with some tropical spices real good. One of these days I'm going to do a video and show you what my food looks like. But anyway, man, I'll leave a link in the description for this video. Check it out if you all want to and thing. And I do believe this is a travel channel and they do a lot of traveling, as you can tell by the way she speaks on there. Go check them out. And I'll leave links to other videos I did on Scotland here, so you can go check it out. And I'm going to go back to more historical stuff here. I just wanted to touch on something, because Scotland is on the bucket list too, you know what I mean? And if I'm going to go to England, then there's Ireland, there's Scotland, and there's Wales, and all of them is there. So I want to take enough time to just shoop through all of them and take. In the meantime, man, you all take care, all right? Cool runnings.